Hi beauty babes! This video is going to be a live swatch and review for Tarte's brand new Tartelette Amazonian Clay Matte Palette. So this palette is currently available for VIB and VIB Rouge members on Sephora. It is technically not supposed to release until Tarte's Spring 2015 collection, which will be available in January. But if you are a VIB, VIB Rouge member at Sephora, you can get your hands on it with an early access. So I'll put a link to where on Sephora you can find this palette if you are eligible. The palette is $44. So this is a palette filled with 12 matte shades. We have mostly neutral colors, and the middle row is more purple toned shades, but otherwise we have your standard creams, browns, and blacks, or slight grays, I guess. This one's kind of like a taupey shade. In this video, I will do live swatches for you of all of the colors like I usually do, and I'll give you my first impressions. But please make sure to keep an eye out on the description box and at allurabeauty.com, because after I more fully test all of the shades, I will give you a more in-depth and full written review at the website. Okay, let's get looking at the packaging and swatches for all of the colors. So here's a closer look at the actual palette packaging. You can see this ombre purple design and then the reflective gold lettering. And the palette online, to me at least, is sort of deceptive, the picture of it, because it is much smaller in person than what it seems to be in the picture. So it fits almost just in the size of my hand. So that's kind of how big it is, and it just latches shut, and then inside you have your colors, your matte eyeshadow colors. There are a total of 12 of them, and you also get a very nice full-sized mirror. Alright, so here are the shades up close that I will swatch for you. I will swatch them by row, starting from the top left to right. We have Free Spirit, Force of Nature, Dreamer, and Multitasker. It's very nice that the names are on the palette itself. So here is Free Spirit. This is a cream shade, and of course all of these will have a matte finish. Here is Force of Nature, which is a light to medium nude. Dreamer is a milk chocolate brown. Here is Multitasker, which is a slightly deeper brown shade, still neutral in tone. Okay, so for the first row, here are your first 4 shades. In the second row, we have Caregiver, Natural Beauty, Best Friend, and Bombshell. Here's Caregiver, which is a very pale, muted, dusty pink. Natural Beauty is a muted, dusty mauve. Here's Best Friend, which is a dusty plum, and Bombshell, which is a deep eggplant purple. Okay, so here are the shades in the second row. And in the bottom row we have Supermom, Wanderer, Power Play, and Fashionista. Supermom is a very fair, pale nude. Wanderer is a light and soft brown. Power Player is a medium taupe. And Fashionista is a deep black. Here are the shades in the bottom third row. Okay, so there was the Tartelette Amazonian Clay Matte Palette and the shades inside. For the most part, I really like this palette. The formula for the eyeshadows is creamy, soft, and smooth. They apply very nicely on the skin. For any differences, I would say that when swatching the middle row, these purplish toned shades apply just a little bit more patchy, not quite as seamless, but honestly, once you use them on the lids and test them, which I have done once now, there is very little noticeable difference in application. The one shade that I will say that is a little more noticeable in terms of being stiffer and a little more dry than the other shades was Power Player. And even with that, overall, the palette is pretty high quality and compared to a lot of other eyeshadows, even the Power Player shade is softer and smoother than a lot of other very dry and stiff matte shades that you might encounter. So overall, a very strong, solid palette, especially when it comes to matte eyeshadows, which oftentimes are a little harder to formulate and have be really smooth on the lids. So I have used the palette to create this eye look on my lids that you see here, and the shades that I used on the crease area were Natural Beauty and Best Friend. And on the lids, I used Power Player because I really wanted to see how it functioned and compared to when swatched. And to sort of buff and blend things out, I also used Super Mom. And in the brow bow section, I used just a little bit of Caregiver. So this eye shade is just kind of an example so you can see how these shadows function in use. And for those of you that are curious, on my lips right now, kind of to match my shirt, is a shade by Tarte. This was from their Aqua Lilies collection, and it is the color Timeless. And for my cheeks, I am using something very light and natural, which is Lady Blush. This is a cream color blush from MAC. And I really didn't want anything strong on the cheeks because I already have this purple toned color on the lids and this really bright, strong pop of orangey coral on the lips. Okay, so there is your first look into the Tartelette matte palette. I hope that this was helpful to you and that you enjoyed looking at the swatches and hearing my initial thoughts. Once again, I will do more testing and application for all of the shades in the palette before I do my written review to tell you my final concluding overall thoughts. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you subscribe. Make sure that you're entering the Too Faced giveaway for the new semi-sweet chocolate palette and for the 12 Days of Christmas giveaway, where there are almost 100 different prizes for 12 different winners for this holiday season, just to say thank you to everyone who supports and watches for this channel. All right, I will see you in the next video. Bye. You actually see that it is this lilac duochrome shade, which you can't really tell that in the pan very well. But once applied, you get this nice surprise of this beautiful purpley duochrome flashy shade on the lid. So a very, very nice palette. This is the month of eyeshadows. Another fantastic eye product are the L'Oreal Infallible Eye Crayons, and they come in a set of 8, I believe, 8 shades.